Hello everyone. So from the 1st May 2023 onwards, the new batch is commencing for the GURUKUL DL Botany as well as the Zoology. In this particular video, I will explain what are the most important topics for the DL Botany and Zoology, what kind of reference books that you have to follow, and what we are going to offer in this particular coaching. So the people who are interested can take the free classes from the 1st May to 7th May absolutely free. So, in this particular 7 days, you can access all the classes along with the test series also. So now let me explain you everything about the number of positions as well as the syllabus analysis. Let's quickly come. So it depending on the different type of societies. So if you look into the botany, there are mid zone 1 and mid zone 2, there are 7 positions are there. Zoology, if you look into the mid zone 1 and mid zone 2, there are 19 positions are there. And if you look into the many institutions specifically, in case of a botany, there are only 3. There are no posts in the mid zone 2. And if you look into the zoology, including mid zone 1 and 2, there are 5 positions are there, right? And if you look into the, what we can say, again in the women institutions, you can see here there are 18 posts of the zoology, there are 15 posts of the botany, right? And once again, if you look into the general zoology, there are 16 posts are there, and botany there are 9 posts are there, right? So once again, if you look into the another society with respect to the women, you have 5 posts in the zoology and 4 posts in the botany. So friends, now let me explain you first the syllabus analysis. So let's quickly come from the zoology. So, when compared to the zoology, friends, when compared to the botany, zoology portion is extremely larger. And it's completely, net oriented also. Very depth you have to study. So let's come from the back. Let's try to understand the first unit, that is the immunology. That is the 11th unit. See, friends, if you want to read the immunology, you require you have to study the biggest book, Immunology by QB or Immunology by Royd. Because, friends, you have to study everything in the immunology, starting from cells of the immune system, innate immunity, adaptive immunity. You have to study about antigen and antibody interaction, all the type of antibodies, classification, functions, T lymphocytes, B lymphocyte, T cell development, B cell development, natural killer cells, interferons, most importantly, MHC molecule, and certain techniques also they have specifically mentioned. That is the ELISA and certain agglutination reaction. And diseases also they have mentioned very specific diseases. That is also a kind of good luck for us. Transplantation, immunodeficiency diseases, active and passive immunity, and tolerance and autoimmunity conditions. So friends, I know most of the degree lecturers, you can't read the QB and Royd, which are the standard reference book, in the very less span of time. So if you strictly follow my PPTs and my classes, undoubtedly you can answer any kind of a question. Now see friends, zoology people has to study the ecology. It was very easy. So, and if you look into the immunology, friends, you can expect 10 to 12 questions very surely. And friends, if you look into the ecology chapter, what you have to understand, you have to study all the biogeochemical cycle, carbon, nitrogen, and phosphorus. You have to understand food chain, food web, pyramids, and various community interactions with respect to the animals, which they have given very specifically. Neutralism, mutualism, amensalism, commensalism, parasitism, predation, and competition. A very important topic, ecological succession, and all the type of pollution, especially focus on the air, water, radioactive pollution. These two are very common. About biodiversity hotspots, you have to study the national parks, tiger zones, as well as what we can say that biogeographical zones of India. So friends, you can easily get 10 questions in the chapter of ecology. And it's very difficult for you people to read the standard books like Odam or the VK Agarwal. It takes a lot of time. You can strictly follow the lessons as well as the PDF notes that we provide. Histology is a very direct, friends. So you can expect 4 to 5 questions. You will get a very straightforward questions only. I will teach this in a very simple and effective way. And once again, if you look into the developmental biology, friends, once again, the questions will be advanced net level. What exactly you have to read in the developmental biology? Starting from gametogenesis. Remember, I will tell you in a simple line. Till organogenesis. What, friends? From the gametogenesis till the organogenesis, what exactly happening? We have to read all these events by taking different organisms as the models. So how does the fertilization occur in the sea urchin? How does the cleavage occur in the sea urchin? How does the cleavage occur in the frog? How does the cleavage occur in the mammals? Same with the gastrulation. And you have to read the placenta, types of placenta also, which were asked in the Telangana set 2022 exam also. Very important unit where you can expect 5 to 8 questions in our DL exam. Same with the JL also. There is no difference, much differences here. Then what we have to focus. If you want to read the developmental biology, you have to read the book, standard reference book, Gilbert. You don't have that much of time. Correct, na? So what you have to do, you have to strictly follow my lessons followed by the PDFs, followed by the PPTs. Evolution. If you want to read the evolution, you have to read the Campbell biology. In the evolution, I want every student majorly focus on origin of life, theories supporting the evolution of origin of life, population genetics. In this way, you can expect the numerical questions, especially gene pool, gene frequency, allelic frequency, Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium. All these you have to study. Right. Followed by the genetic drift, isolation, and speciation. See, 1, 2, 3, 4 subunits are little tough. And when it comes to the evolution of horse and man, geographical realms of the world, which are very straightforward, the things to be remembered here. You can easily read that. And one of the biggest unit in the entire zoology chapter, entire zoology syllabus, that is the system, cell, and physiology. Why it is very big, tell me? Because they have included biochemistry and they have included human physiology in one unit only. So where you have to read the chemistry of carbohydrates, proteins, and lipids, and very specifically they mentioned Ramachandran plot and understanding the all 4 hierarchy levels of the protein, that is primary, secondary, tertiary, and quaternary structures. Along with that, we have to study glycolysis, Krebs cycle, etc, glucogenesis, glycogenolysis, gluconeogenesis, PPP pathway, all the enzymes involved over there, regulatory pathways, inhibitors. It's a very big concept. And apart from that, see here, they included blood circulation, CVS, respiratory system, nervous system, skeletal, muscle system, sense organ, excretory, osmoregulation, digestive system, endocrinology. Friends, these are all up to net level you have to study, which means I want every student has to study complete PZ level. Then only you can answer the questions which are appearing from these particular units. Then another tough unit, genetics. Genetics seems to be very easy, friends, but in the genetics, you all people will get a very logical questions. Anyway, human physiology, if you want to read a very standard reference book, you can read the Tora. But it's very difficult to read the Tora by anatomy and physiology by Tora. So you can follow my PPT and especially lessons. My lessons will cover most of the information. And if you look into the genetics, friends, you have to start with Mendel principles, extension of Mendel principles, then all the gene mapping method, crossing over, all the type of mutations. Every type of mutation, nonsense mutation, missense mutation, cross mutations, loss of function mutation, gain of function mutation, germinal, somatic, everything. And followed by structural and chromosomal abnormality, alterations, deletion, duplication, inversion, translocation. And luckily they mentioned specific diseases. That is really luck. Hence we have to focus on only those diseases. Human genetics, the most important one is the pedigree. That's also very important. We have to read it. And the best standard reference book, Russell. If you can't read that, you can strictly follow my PPT and notes. After the physiology and biochemistry, this is the biggest unit. Why? Because in the cell biology only, they have included the molecular biology. And they have included rDNA technology also. See here how big it is. They have included cell bio, mol bio, and rDNA. In the cell bio, mol bio, you have to study replication, transcription, translation, gene regulation in both prokaryotic organisms also in eukaryotic organism also, along with the DNA repair mechanism. Such a big unit it is. And what you have to remember, you people has to focus completely on molecular biology by Watson. You can't read that book in a short span of time. You can strictly follow the PPT and notes that I will provide to all of you. Then in case of prokaryote and cell biology, structures of all the cell organelle. Very specifically, the most important one is organization of chromatin, that is euchromatin, heterochromatin, transposon, cell cycle regulation. These are all the toughest concept in the cell biology. If you want to read any standard reference book, you can follow the Lodish, but you can't cover the Lodish in a short span. Again, you can follow the lesson and PPTs. Then, friends, these three are very common. General concept, non-card data, card data. Trust me, if you read your Telugu Academy level or our NCRT level or the NEET level, that is more than sufficient. You can answer most of the questions very easily in the unit 1, 2, 3, which are very tough topics, friends. Unit 4 to unit 11. These are all the very tough topics that I want every student has to cover. So do not worry at all. We will cover A to Z, which are extremely important for the exam point of view. So now let's look into the botany syllabus. Friends, if you look into the botany and zoology having some of the common topics. What are those common topics? Cell biology, molecular biology, biochemistry, genetics, ecology. These are all what very common topics. And see the syllabus of the botany starts with unit 10, biotechnology and genetic engineering. You know what is the difference between the JL syllabus and DL syllabus? Only this were added extra. That's all, nothing else. Only this were added in the syllabus of the DL. It is not there in the JL. Remaining everything is same. Here also you have to study multiple reference books. For rDNA, one reference book we have to study. For plant biotechnology, for organogenesis, somatic hybridization, tissue culture, we have to study different one, including the transgenic plants also. So you no need to worry about it. With the help of PPT and my PDFs only, I will cover A to Z. Then the biggest unit in the entire syllabus of botany, that is the plant physiology and biochemistry, because here only they have included the entire biochemistry also. They have included the all the plant physiology also. In the biochemistry, you have to study all the carbohydrate metabolism. And botany people, you are lucky. You do not have any kind of amino acid metabolism. You do not have very depth of the proteins also, but which were added in the zoology. You have to read enzymes majorly, then membrane transport, that is xylem transport, phloem transport. And see here, which is not there in the JL, which is there in the DL. That is the signaling process. That is there exclusively for the DL. Then followed by photosynthesis, respiration and lipid metabolism, nitrogen fixation, sensory photobiology, plant hormones, sensory photobiology, and stress physiology. See how big all these units are. We are going to cover them extremely faster. Okay. So now listen to me very carefully. Now, friends, when you look into this picture of this particular cytogenetics, why cytogenetics is also big? Because it includes molecular biology, it includes little part of the cell biology and most of the genetics. So once again, all the replication, transcription, translation, these are all with respect to the molecular biology, and chromatin organization with respect to the genetics also, as well as the cell biology also. Whereas structural and numerical alteration, extra chromosomal inheritance, mutations, plant breeding, this comes under the genetics. Till this is the JL syllabus. But if you look into the DL, these two are extra added, only these two. You have to study the techniques related, especially biostatistics techniques and molecular cytogenetics. Very easy, it's not difficult concepts at all. Then cell biology. Of course, what is the difference between JL and DL? Only there is an addition of the techniques, that's all. Remaining else will be common for the JL also as well as the DL also. You have to read all the cell organelles, structure, function, enzymes involved over there. Most difficult one, the cell cycle regulation, followed by the apoptosis. This is the only one difficulty in the entire cell biology. And another big unit, friends, ecology. We have to read individual population ecology, we have to read community ecology, we have to read the species interactions, we have to read ecosystem ecology, we have to read the biomes, we have to read the biosphere. One of the very big unit, we have to cover it very, very faster. Mostly, friends, in case of JL and DL, there is no much difference in the ecology. Then plant resource and utilization and conservation. In this, mostly you will get a very straightforward direct questions. Why? Because most of the questions will be from the organization name. Suppose example, if you are getting 6 to 8 questions from here, 3 to 4 questions will come from strategies for conservation about all these organizations in situ and ex situ. Apart from that, you will compulsory, undoubtedly, you will get the question from the role of plants in the medicine. And important fire, wood and timber also. Very direct questions you will get. Very important also. And when it comes to the unit 1, 2, 3, 4, I am telling you whether you are preparing for the DL or whether you are preparing for the JL. Unit 1, 2, 3, you will get straightforward questions only. I can say that above NEET level, that's all. Because you will get the questions from their classification, their characteristic features, their importance. Let's take an example of bacteria. Let's take example of bacteria. Structure of a bacterial cell, classification of the bacteria, correct na? Then followed by characteristic features, including their reproduction method, then followed by their importance and disease caused by the bacteria in the plants as well as the animals. Apart from this, what is there? There is no other way of asking any other type of a question, correct na? So what you have to understand, where you are going to get a direct question, whether it's a protista, monera, viruses, or whatever it may be. Questions are direct based. Same with the bryophyta, pteridophyta, gymnosperm, as well as angiosperms also, very direct. But once again, which is the concept oriented? Anatomy and embryology. Here you can get a concept oriented question, that is ovule development, megasporogenesis, organization of the embryo sac, pollen pistil interaction, root development, shoot development. Here you can get, including the dormancy. Here you will get the concept oriented, right? So we are going to start the batch from the May 1st, where I am going to cover all the important concepts, all very depth concepts for the botany as well as the zoology. I am requesting only serious aspirants call the below number and get the information about the classes. I'm requesting you, if you just want to get the information and if you are not serious about your preparation, please don't call, don't waste your time as well as our time also, because we are having a very limited amount of the time. So for any further details, please call on this particular below number. We are really there to help you. Thank you all.